Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So this is going to be a very exciting video. I'm actually headed up to a shop called Auto Couture Motoring. You guys are on the East Coast, you guys may know these people. These guys are like the BMW gurus. They are probably one of the best, if not the best, BMW specialists on the East Coast. They really know their stuff. They've been around a long time. M cars are kind of their specialties. I mean, they do exotics. They do everything under the moon. They really know everything there is to know about BMWs. So we're actually headed up to them to get a few things done. I've actually talked about all this in my mod update video, explaining everything that I'm getting done. But real quick, let's go over everything. So first and foremost, the main reason why I'm going to them is because I'm getting the crank hub done. Auto Couture Motoring is doing a full crank hub replacement with the Gintani single piece crank hub. Obviously, it's a very, very lengthy and detailed install, so that's not something I'm comfortable with whatsoever. So I'm leaving it to the professionals. They're going to get it done. They've done hundreds and hundreds of these. So going to somebody that really knows what they're doing, that has done it several times. So going to Auto Couture was one of those shops that I was like, you know what? If I ever get an F80 and I want to get the crank hub done, 100%, that is the route and that is the place I'm going to. So they're going to be doing the crank hub first and foremost. Very important. Very excited about that. Secondly, we're actually getting an oil change. Obviously, because during the crank hub service, you need to drain the oil. So that is getting done. This is actually going to be my first oil change on this car since I took ownership. I've only done about 2,000 miles or so since I purchased the car last summer. So not that much. And before I bought the car, the oil was changed. So it only has roughly 2,000 miles or so on this oil change. So not much at all. But either way, it has to be done. So I'm excited to get that done and complete. So I don't have to worry about it for another couple thousand miles or so. Next thing we're doing is actually spark plugs. It's one of those things, since you're already there, you might as well do them. I'm at I just hit 21,000 miles. So they recommend every 20 to 30,000 miles to change the spark plugs. Very simple task, but we're actually going to get them one step colder since I'm going to be tuning the car and we're going to be doing something else that I'll go over in a little bit. Going to one step colder is always recommended when you're tuning the car and going for a little bit more power so it can hold up and just perform the way it should. So one step colder plugs. Got to get that done as well. And the last thing that we're actually getting done at Auto Couture while it's there, again, it's one of those things that they're going to be there, so might as well. Don't have to pay crazy extra labor for it. So we're getting some downpipes installed. These are the ARM Motorsports resonated catless downpipes. Very excited to get this on. I'm running the Inked Customs cat back, which is a single resonated mid pipe, and then a muffler delete with an anti-drone muffler. Sounds fantastic now. A little too quiet for me at this point, but the resonated downpipes here is going to make it sound incredible. So they're going to be installing those. Again, it's one of those things, since I'm going to be paying for labor on the crank hub, which is pretty pricey. You know, that kind of just doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So we're just going to get that knocked out. I was going to do it myself, but again, it's one of those things that it's going to be there. They're going to do it right. They've done it 1,000 times. Might as well just let them get it done. So I'm actually headed up tomorrow evening, going to drop it off, and I'm actually going to pick up, or my buddy is lending me his 2023 G80 M3 base. It's actually a manual. So you guys know that I am familiar with the G80. I've driven my buddies quite a few times. I put a decent amount of miles on it, a lot of seat time in it, love that car, but I've only driven the Competition X Drive with the auto transmission. This one is actually a manual, a base model, rear wheel drive. So a completely different experience. So I'm really excited to kind of get my take on that, my opinion, see if I like it more, like it less. Not to mention it's gonna be a huge help because I'm gonna be dropping this car off about an hour and a half away. And then I'm gonna literally take that car home, enjoy it for the week, and drive that car back when I'm coming to pick up my F80 when it is done. So gonna be a good week. I'm really excited about it. So let's head in the car. Let's head up to Auto Couture, pick up the G80, and I'll kind of document the journey and the whole process and everything. I will be doing a full breakdown video. I'll probably do it at the end of this, to be completely honest, of the cost of all this. I know a lot of people are interested in how much it actually costs to get a crank up done. Obviously, there's a lot of variables and factors of costs and all that, but I want to let you guys know what I paid and what you kind of expect the cost to get something like this done. And plus, I'll let you know of all the other work that's getting done as well and all the costs associated. So let's get in the car, let's head up to Auto Couture, and I'll catch back up with you then. All right, guys, so we are headed up to Auto Couture right now. I'm just cruising, enjoying the ride, and I got about 45 minutes left. I'm gonna be doing a separate video on the G80, kind of going over my thoughts of the base manual G80. I have obviously done videos on the competition and the automatic, so I'm really interested to kind of see what I think. and I'm excited to drive a G80 home and for the week. So I'll catch back up with you guys in a little while once we get everything dropped off, and then obviously when we pick up the car and all that. So all right guys, catch you soon. Alright guys, so we just arrived at Auto Couture Motoring. Be leaving the car here and they're going to get started on it in the morning, but it's in good company. We got an M4 over there, and I believe that's an M8 over there with a bunch of other cool cars just hanging out here. So in good hands, and obviously I'll update you guys once we go pick it up. Just waiting for my buddy to swing by with this G80 so I can take it home and enjoy it for the week, and then obviously I'll keep you guys updated throughout this video and everything with what's going on. But I did show you in the beginning of the video, I do have the downpipes in the trunk ready to roll and ready to install on the M3. So we got them in there, and crank hub obviously is in the shop over here, and we are set to go. So before you know it, we'll have the crank hub done, downpipes on, and this thing is going to be ready to rip. So I'll catch back with you guys in a little while. All right guys, buddy came. Here's his G80. Obviously I'm going to be doing a full video on this, walk around, give you more details on it, but just wanted to show you it with my F80 next to it. So I'm gonna go ahead, enjoy the drive home. This is a base model, so we got the manual transmission, which I'm looking forward to driving and enjoying. All right guys, so it's about 4 days later since I last saw you guys. Currently driving in the G80 back to Auto Couture Motoring to go pick up my F80. All the work was complete, everything went smoothly, went as planned, and I'm very, very happy with everything. Now, obviously I'm in the G80 right now, and I gotta say, I am absolutely in love with this car. I released my video a few days ago of my kind of overall review of the base rear-wheel drive manual G80, and I have absolutely fallen for this car. I love it so much. The competition with the ZF transmission is great, very, very fast, but the overall experience and the joy that I get out of this car is it's up there. I like it a lot. I even got a whole entire mod list planned out already for a G80. So we will see. But for now, the main part of this video, the main focus right now is to go get my F80. We got quite a few things done. I'm gonna go over everything, gonna go over the cost and that at the end of this video. So if you are curious about what it takes to get something like this done, you know, I'll let you guys know. Lastly, before I end this clip, I wanna give a huge shout out to Auto Couture. You guys were incredibly awesome. Super responsive, customer service was amazing. The service and everything was awesome. Darren, thank you so much for handling my car as if it were your own. Matt, we go way back into the E46 days, back in like 2009, 2010. I really do appreciate all the communication, all of the responses, very, very quick responses, I should say. It doesn't go unnoticed, stuff like that. Customer service to me at a shop, or anywhere for that matter, is massive for me. Not only was the customer service amazing, also the communication and everything was incredible, but they went above and beyond. They actually got a ton of pictures of the whole entire process, and also they got a lot of video clips, so they were able to document the whole process for me, which is amazing. My schedule doesn't always allow me to be there, so for them to kind of go out of their way to get me these clips and pictures and everything, it doesn't go unnoticed. It's very, very much appreciated, and I'm really excited to kind of throw together a little montage for you guys of all the work done, so you're not just seeing my talking face in the car. You guys can actually see some work being done on the F80. So really looking forward to picking it up, really looking forward to a worry-free S55 ownership. So yeah, I'm heading up there now. I got, let's see, 58 minutes left. So I'm gonna pick up the car, kind of chat and everything, get everything situated, and then I'll catch back up with you guys in the garage, and we'll go over the cost and everything and kind of wrap the video up there. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. guys, so we are back home. It has been almost a week since I recorded the last clip. The G80 has been returned to my good friend, and I got my F80 back from Auto Couture Motoring. Really cool. Matt was able to give me a tour of the shop and everything and show me some really cool cars. There was an amazing E30 M3 that they had there that they were completely restoring. It looked absolutely brand new. A lot of other cool cars, and you know, just seeing how everything operates over there and getting a good idea of what kind of shop they are was A+. I really enjoyed that. Really cool to catch up. Again, Matt, we've known each other for quite some time, so it was really cool to kind of catch up and you know, see what's going on and everything. But let's talk about the cost of it. So first and foremost, here is my stock crank hub. So obviously I wasn't able to show you the Gintani one because that is currently in the car, but I decided to do an entire video breaking down the crank hub. I said I wasn't going to do it, but it's kind of fresh in my mind about all the different topics and different factors and everything that comes into play with the crank hub, what the issues are, what the solutions may be, the overall cost and all of that stuff. So I think it'll be beneficial to kind of explain it in detail. I know a lot of people have asked me about it. So I decided I'm going to do it. I'll probably have it out pretty soon, but I wanted to mention that. But I just wanted to mention something real quick about my crank hub. So as you can see, it is 3 separate pieces. That is the main reason as to why this is an issue, because one of these can actually slip. The bolt back here can actually back out a little bit, causing this to move, causing it to go out of timing. A lot of factors come into play. However, I'm happy that I did mine. And the main reason is because between each of these, there is a little friction disc. And if you can see, mine was actually cracked. I'm gonna put up a picture for you guys right now so you can see exactly what it looked like when it came out of the car. The tech at Auto Couture that actually did this for me, he messaged me, he was like, hey man, just wanna let you know, you're really lucky that you're doing this right now because your friction discs are actually cracked. And that's a good sign that it potentially could happen. That's like a first indication that this may happen, because once these crack or break or split, it could happen. So thankfully, I got mine done. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Again, mine only has 21,000 miles on it. So definitely, I mean, we'll go into a whole video about what I think is right or wrong, or, you know, the best way to go about it. But I just wanted to mention that. Pretty interesting. I was pretty shocked to see that. But now that I mentioned that, let's go over the costs, kind of break everything down. I have the entire invoice here. I'm going to let you know exactly what it paid. I had no special perks, no special, you know, pricing or anything like that. This is what to expect. If you go to Auto Couture or, you know, a shop like this of this caliber of what you're expecting to pay for a crank hub, and I'll break down the other things that I got done as well. So before we start going over the price real quick, I just want to mention that there is a ton of factors that come into play with the price of getting a crank hub done. Your location, what brand crank hub you're actually doing, what method that you're doing. There's so many different factors that come into play here. So take it with a grain of salt. The only reason why I'm doing this is just to give you guys a rough idea. If you were to get this done by Auto Couture or a place of this caliber, just to give you a reference point of how much this costs. Because to be honest, I've seen prices go from $1,000 all the way up to $5,000, even more. So it really depends on a lot of factors, but this is what I paid. And you have to remember, you're paying a shop for their skill set, for their experience. You know, you can probably find this cheaper, there's no question about it, but for me personally, I like to go to places and shops that have a lot of experience, a lot of skill set, that have done this specific job multiple times. Finding a hole in the wall or a cheaper place or a friend that can do it cheaper, yes, you'll save some money, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't sit right with me. I'd rather go to a place that really knows this and knows how to do it right. So first and foremost, let's go over the invoice. The Gintani Crank Hub Service S55 engine, an upgraded one-piece crank hub, OEM hardware, and an oil change. That's all included. That was $3,750. The Gintani crank hub alone is around $1,400. A lot of that is labor because of the involved process that it takes. It's not something to just throw on. You have to take apart a lot of the motor, or at least the front end of it, to get to the actual crank hub and retime everything. And again, it's one of those things that I didn't feel comfortable with. So paying a shop that has a lot of experience with this was worth it to me. Next up on the list is the spark plugs. This is one of the things that I do recommend doing while you're doing the crank hub. You're there already. You might as well get it done. And with Auto Couture, when you pay for the crank hub service, you don't pay for more labor for getting other things done, you know, in the vicinity. So you're only paying for the parts. So I got the NGK 506 spark plugs, gap to tuner spec. They're actually gap to 0.018. Normally they're 0.020, but they brought it down to 0.018 because they've actually seen some breaking up issues when the car is tuned at 20. So going down to 18 is the better route to go. So they gapped them down to there. No charge labor during the crank hub service because of that. You need 6 of them. Each one of them is $36.83. It came out to $220.98. Again, if I were to do it myself, it's the exact same price, so I wasn't paying for labor on that. That's just what it is. Next up was installing the downpipes that I got installed. They were the ARM resonated catless downpipes. The installation and labor from ACM, resonated downpipes, customer supplied, overlapping labor discount during the crank hub service. Again, I already was paying for the labor on the crank hub, so they just added them on. That was $175 to get the downpipes installed. Again, I could have done that myself, but $175 to get them installed while it's on the lift, and they can knock it out in like 20 minutes. It was one of those things I was like, you know what, just go ahead and do it. I'll be done with it. So yeah, $175 for that. Last thing that I didn't mention was I actually got an alignment. Well, I paid for one, and there's a reason why. The alignment was a little off. The toe on the driver's side was angled out a little bit. And I actually knew that because the tie rod on the driver's side is actually seized, which is a very, very common problem on these cars. On the F80s, F82s, this generation, M3, M4, the tie rods on these can actually seize over time if you don't move them about every year or so. Last alignment I got done, I knew about this. The tie rod was pretty seized, and they weren't able to make many adjustments, but as they were trying to align the car at ACM, they noticed that it was just not moving at all. So we're actually replacing the tie rod. I'm actually headed back up there in a few weeks to get the tie rod replaced and get the alignment kind of retuned. But I've already paid for the alignment, so all I gotta do is pay for the part on the tie rod, and we're gonna get that knocked out. So I paid for the alignment, which was $250. I am running KW V3 coilovers. I'm running stock top hats, so I don't have to pay any extra for aftermarket camber plates, but we're gonna go ahead, throw the tie rod on. It's already at ACM actually. And get the alignment tweak, get that sorted out. So that was everything that I paid for this service. So let's go over the total of everything. Sales tax was 6.625%, $291.23, with a grand total of $4,687.21. So obviously the crank hub alone was $3,750, but with everything added up and all the other extras that I got put on, it was $4,600. So yes, definitely an expensive service, but it was one of those things I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this car and I'm going to do it right, I'm going to be making these videos, kind of pointing people in the right direction of what I think is best. You know, this is something that I highly recommend getting done. Now, again, I'm going to be doing a whole video breaking down everything about the crank hub so people are in the know. They can decide for themselves which route they would like to go and everything, and you know what they may want to pay for the fix and whatnot. But I just wanted to break this down, let you guys know exactly what it paid. I'm very transparent with that stuff because honestly, when I see people do all this stuff, I'm always curious, hey, you know, how much do they pay? What does it cost? You know, so I can get an idea of, you know, if it's something that I can get done personally. And I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty expensive. I'm not like, it's nothing. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna sleep better knowing that my S55 is bulletproofed and I've done everything I possibly can to make this extremely safe and I can enjoy it to the fullest. It's only going to make my ownership that much better. It's gonna make me enjoy it more. So here's the car. Obviously you can't see anything. Everything is tucked away and you know, it's nothing that you can see or benefit from other than a bulletproof motor, but I figured I would show you guys. I do have these stock downpipes over here as well. As you can see, proof that the ARM Motorsports resonated catless ones are in there. It sounds incredible. I'll throw a little sound clip up real quick of a cold start so you guys can hear it. For this car, we got quite a few things. Carbon backs, we got the shifter bushing, we got some exhaust tips. I got quite a few other things coming as well. I'm currently working out a deal for a charge cooler. We're going to be tuning the car. Lots of things in the pipeline for this thing. I'm super excited, but I'm very, very thankful for the crank hub, it being done. I'm enjoying it immensely, and I will say, even without a tune, just the crank hub done and the downpipe and currently everything that I got going on here, I do notice a massive jump in power just from the downpipes alone, I believe. Very, very curious to see what this thing is going to do on a stage 2 tune. It's going to be pretty wild. I've heard it's pretty nuts. Now, the check engine light has not come on yet from the No Cats. I expect it to come on soon. I believe a couple 100 miles it pops on, but I'm actually going to be tuning the car before that happens. So most likely I'm going to go with boot mod stage 2 93. I know there's MHD and everything, but I think I feel more comfortable with boot mod. A lot of people have recommended it and everything. The interface is great. Lots of reasons that I think I'm going to sway that way, but that is coming very, very soon. Very excited for that. I heard the stage 2 power is pretty nuts, and going from completely stock in terms of the tune all the way up to stage 2, it's going to be pretty wild. Going to be around 530, 540, 550 with everything I got going on here. So pretty nuts. It's already a handful to begin with just the downpipes on and everything else. So super, super excited to get that done. But that is going to do it for this video. I know we got a lot done, but I'm super excited they got the crank up done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I can just enjoy the car. I love reliability mods that makes a certain motor that much better, and doing the crank hub is one of those things that's going to make me sleep better at night. So once again, huge shout out to Chris for lending me the G80, Matt, Darren, everybody else at ACM for getting the job done and doing it properly, and the amazing service. Super thrilled with everything. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all about the crank hub or anything else on the M3, please leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple. I'll catch you guys in the next one.